Hey, friends, April here with Touching Clients. I hope that you are well. Happy Tuesday. So I apologize. Last week I actually was fighting a cold at the end of the week and struggling with my voice. So that is part of the reason that I moved today's stream to Tuesday. So we get a bonus week. We get two streams this week. And I'm really I'm streaming here to Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. So it's great to see everybody. Drop a hello in the comments. Today we're going to be talking about third party and first party cookies and kind of how that relates kind of the privacy world, which is such a relevant topic. You know, it's funny. Pressy and I, she helps me on my team here at Touching Clients, and we were talking about topics. And I thought this was a great topic to share because we have all of these kind of add-ons to our website where they accept cookies. Also, when we're looking to do online advertising through Facebook or Google, there's always questions about what data people are collecting. And it's also a concern. But as a business owner, you really need to know about the data that you're collecting and kind of the changes that have happened and evolved over the past year or so and more and what's to come. So let me get started here. Just drop your questions in the chat as you have them along. My goal is to have our training done within 30 minutes. I value your time, and it's great to see you all today. So let's get started. So today we're talking about winning in a privacy-first world, marketing without third-party cookies. And really my goal is for you to take away some actionable items today for your business that you can use to help collect and build trust with your audience. So a little bit about me. My name is April Woodcock. I am owner of Touching Clients, which is a digital marketing agency here in Connecticut. And my husband is my partner in crime. And I'm lucky enough to have my daughter work with me as well as a few other team members here. And one of the things that I do is I do a lot of training and I also do a lot of strategy marketing. So it's great to see you guys today. All right, my friends. Whoops. Sorry. So think about it this way. When you start thinking about kind of cookies or tracking and privacy, imagine waking up tomorrow and every ad platform that you currently use forgets who your audience is. So, we talk a lot about, we put our faith in software, we put our faith in like even these social media channels. But what if it's all gone? Our audience is gone. And that's really where we're headed to. So as business owners, we really have to put on that marketing hat and start thinking how to preserve the privacy and build the trust with our potential clients and as well as our clients. But I actually don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. It's things that we're already doing in our business, but we're just going to have to recognize the importance a little bit more that we're playing on that information. So this matters to all of you as well as myself because really today as consumers, we are demanding more transparency. We want to know where our data is shared. We want it to be private. And if you are collecting email addresses in your business, one of the things is that I always recommend email service provider, right? Because it kind of does the work for you. You create a form and it's going to clearly state what people are signing up and it's tracking permission. So somebody's taken action, they've raised their hand and they've submitted it. So it's very similar to what you're already doing. Again, it's just being aware. Definitely the privacy laws are being tightened. So GDPR, CCPA, and et cetera. So this is one like GDPR in the UK requires like a double opt-in, which is really at the end of the day, it's the process of kind of that. And instead of somebody just doing one click to sign up, there's another email confirmation they have to click on to verify, which actually isn't a bad thing. It's about quality over quantity as you're building your lists and getting information. You want to make sure that if somebody is signing up to follow you or to provide their information, that it's accurate and that they know exactly what the relationship is they're getting into. Chrome will phase out third-party cookies it's already started into the next year. And really it is trust. Is it the new currency of marketing? I'm not so sure. I think we're just more focused and more aware on it. We live in a very different society. A week ago or so, we talked a little bit about AI, and so we really need to make sure that we're valuing the relationships that we have, that information that we have of our leads and clients. So, what are first party cookies? Well, it's really small bits of data that's stored on your website. And it's really comes from so if I were visiting your website, it's coming from my browser and how I interact on your site. And it's also, that's something where you can track it in your Google Analytics. But again, it's information that you're keeping as the business owner. And basically, the data is created and managed by the website user that they're visiting, so not by an outside company. So, a lot of times, and we'll talk a little bit more about third party, but it's really organic traffic, or if you're sending a link, if you post a link on social media and they're coming to your website, that's the information, that data is being pulled, but only for you as the business owner. It's not shared, it's not anything like that. So it's definitely more private. And kind of how does it work? So, say somebody visits my website, Touching Clients. My website might be set up to store a cookie to help them to remember their login if I have a membership, the language preference. So, depending upon your business, you might be working worldwide, or their shopping cart. I don't know about you, but I do a lot of window shopping. And I have a lot of cards saved, and then I go back to them because, gosh, I would definitely have maxed out my credit cards a long time ago if I actually executed. But what happens is the next time they visit your site, it reads that cookie to personalize the experience. So because these cookies do not track users across other websites, so we're not tracking their behavior when they leave your website. We're not retargeting them in an ad or anything like that, because you're not collecting that data. It's considered privacy safe. So again, it's about, as you're the business owner, kind of just making sure that you have a privacy policy and kind of that transparency, but you're not sharing or selling that data. Nobody wants that. So it's definitely a more secure, more private start to a relationship. So again, here's some examples. Just a login session. It keeps the information stored. Preferences, so the language. Analytics, this is where your Google Analytics is important. I actually recently, yesterday, talked to a business owner, and we were looking at their website, and they don't have any Google Analytics attached. So I would encourage you to make sure that you have your Google Analytics attached to your website. It's a free tool. It can be a little bit overwhelming. However, it will provide as little or as much information as you want, but it's really good to track because it's going to help you to be more effective in your marketing campaigns for future. Cart functionality, so it saves items in the cart. So again, my cart from yesterday that I'm ready to pull the trigger on at Macy's, it's probably still sitting there, and it's going to remember for a certain period of time. So third-party cookies are small data files placed, but they're from external websites to track users. So this is where those remarketing ads, retargeting ads come into play. So for example, if you went to a website, and I like to use the example of a Jeep. I don't know why I use this a lot, but say I looked at a Jeep and I was like thinking summer, top off, how cool is this? And then I come into a social media platform and now I'm being served this ad again. And then maybe I go to a blog post and I'm being served. So so there is a web, my information has now been collected and now it's shared from website to website. And it definitely has been helpful to advertisers, to be able to kind of stay top of mind awareness with these ads for people. But unfortunately, it's going away, and that's changing because it really, it's too easy for our information to be scraped. So the cookie is crumbling. Third-party cookies crumbling. Safari and Firefox already blocked it years ago, and Google's kind of just at that point where they're phasing out. It's not that this is anything new, friends. It's just kind of a reminder, of things that you can be executing for your business, especially as we send. It's kind of get into the last year because we are in November. So here's some differences. So you have your first party cookies. So it's set by your website. So it's set by the website you directly visit, or if they're coming to your website. Where third party cookies, it's set by another website embedded on the page. So like adnetwork.com. So that's tracking. And all of us have done like well, I think a great one is kind of that Capital One shopping. Like every time you go to a website, they're giving you coupons and things. So it'll be interesting if that eventually goes away or if they change that. But it's things like that, it's tracking your information. So again, first party cookies is used to remember login, shopping cart your preferences, where third party is tracking that behavior across all websites. So from website, if you come to my website, then you go to your competitors, and then you go to buy something at, I don't know, Walmart. It's all being tracked. The nice thing about first party cookies is it's controlled by you. It's controlled by your business, whereas third party cookies are controlled by the advertisers and the data brokers that sell your information. And first party cookies, privacy safe and generally accepted. As long as people understand what it is, that's where, knowledge is power. And third party is just being phased out because it's a privacy concern. You got passwords. I mean, I don't know. I went into my password manager and I had like, I don't know, it was like 30, which I can't believe I'm embarrassed to even say that, but that I had passwords compromised, so I have to go and update those. But that's where third party cookies are bad. So, kind of what comes next? You know, for first party data, we need to build relationships directly. We also need to think of contextual targeting, so match your content to the intent of your end user and your audience. There's privacy frameworks, and then server side tracking. So this is going to be where your analytics are more important than ever. So your Google Analytics 4, this is something where if you don't know a lot about Google Analytics, I'd encourage you to take a training, a beginner's training. You don't need to know, I mean, it is a world, it's a huge world, but you need to know enough that you can understand the data that's coming into your website, so you can better then make better marketing decisions. It's the same thing if you decide to do advertising, advertising on any of the social platforms. You want to make sure that you're understanding how to track that information, because it is going to be more dialed in on the behavior that you see from your marketing and the output of content that you're delivering. So, step one is you're going to strengthen that first party data. So, you want to create value. We live in the content marketing world. So, think about webinars, think about guides, think about VIP access to content, or maybe your membership. Definitely add sign up prompts across all your digital touch points. So, that's sign up for emails. That is, a form, that is a download, a landing page. Wherever you touch your audience, you want to be regularly asking them to sign up, because at least then you're getting them into your funnel and you're being able to nurture those relationships. Definitely think about preference centers on your website. Like you can offer, especially if you have a membership, you want to make sure that if they have login access, that they set their preferences. And then always think about how you can integrate your CRM and email platform for unified insights. So sometimes people will use a different CRM than they will for email marketing because of deliverability. If you have an email service provider that you can use as a CRM, that's great. But look at ways to intertwine that data, because it's going to help you to be more effective. So, your data is your new superpower, my friends, but you have to earn it through that trust and value, which is that know, like, and trust factor that we all know about. Um, Step two. So let's personalize without being a creeper. So the old way was kind of cross-site targeting, third-party profiles. The new way is really behavior-based personalization. So it's on your own platforms. Segment by engagement. This is where segmentation of your email list. If you send out an email and you have a clickable link, segment by what people are interested in. Definitely use AI for ethical recommendations. So AI is a tool in your tool chest as a small business owner with your marketing hat on. I encourage you to use it. You just want to make sure that you are humanizing it and that you're realistically looking at the data that's coming out, because it's not 100% accurate. And then focused on your context and your timing of your content. Step three, leverage your own channels. So, like email, content, community equals trust. So, when you're sending out an email consistently because they've signed up, you're valuing that relationship because they signed up for what you're offering. Provide high quality content that's going to help build that trust, and then look for ways to include them in community. Maybe you do have a Facebook group, or maybe you want to create a use a like Mighty Networks is a membership tool, but it's also, they have communities in there. Patreon is a crowdfunding source where you can have a free account. People don't necessarily need to pay, or you can be earning some money for your business as well. Think about content. So your blogs, video marketing is a huge way because people get to see you. The world is a different place. We don't necessarily have to meet people in person anymore all the time. Think about podcasts for long-term visibility. Podcasts are a great resource to share your expertise, bring in guests, kind of expand your reach. And community, again, those private groups. So I typically use Facebook as a private group, but it's whatever works for you, and think about membership opportunities to deepen your loyalty with them. Step four, this is where you're going to adapt your analytics. If you have not, I mean, most you have probably transitioned to Google Analytics 4, but you can also add event-based tracking. So when you create something, it can trigger more analytics based on the event that they take. So if they signed up for an email, they signed up in a form, or maybe they the event was that they landed on a page, or maybe it's a little bit more dialed in. So you can create that in your Google Analytics. Definitely server-side tagging to capture consent-based insights. So you want to make sure that you have in your CRM that you know that it's consent-based. By using forms, never collect email addresses on like LinkedIn or Alignable. Make sure that everything is coming where there's kind of a data point that can track that they said yes. And what's interesting, I actually just had today, I had somebody email me and say that they didn't know that they're not on my list, and I apologize, because a lot of times what happens is I'm not always as consistent with my email as I should be. I'm sending it out, and so they came to a training a long time ago, and I do have that. I actually have when they signed up in my constant contact, and I have what event they signed up for, because it sends a replay. They signed up for a replay. So, but of course, like I never want to be a spammer. So you always want to make sure that you tag, and that's actually great by tagging your contacts and kind of making sure you're following where they came from. You can always go back to that. So, like, I apologized. You signed up for an event this date, whatever, and I understand you're no longer interested. Definitely measure the engagement time. So what's nice about Google Analytics is you can actually learn about how long people are staying on your page, how far down they got on the page. It's going to give you a lot of information. Also conversions, which conversions are whether maybe they bought a product, that's a conversion, whether they gave their email address. It depends on what you define as a conversion in your business, or they fill out a form. And you want to qualify that data and really figure out what's important for you to track, to be more mindful of the content delivery that you're giving to your audience. So kind of just some privacy first action. Audit your data collection. So definitely look at everywhere you're touching your audience. So if you're using Substack, if you are on Reddit, if you're on social media, if you are on your LinkedIn profile, your LinkedIn business, YouTube, definitely take a look at where you are touching people, and make sure that you're asking for ways for them to sign up. And you want to go a little bit deeper than just subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Facebook, because they can follow you, but you don't own that. You don't necessarily have that information to get back in touch with them. Definitely update your privacy and consent policy. I have a sample privacy that actually I'll drop a link here for the replay, and I have a checklist. Look at strengthening your email marketing. That should be your number one priority going into the new year if you haven't done a good job of it. It's hard. As small business owners, we wear many hats, and it's sometimes very hard to be very consistent when we are kind of when we're busy in our business, working in our business, instead of working on our business. So set up a plan that works for you, that's consistent, even if it's hopefully it's more than once a month because really email marketing should be probably weekly in a business, but even every other week, if you can set up something that's consistent. Definitely look to add that event-based tracking in your analytics, and then look for a way to build community to stay in touch and foster and build that know, like, and trust factor on something that you're an expert at. So maybe you're an expert on QuickBooks. Maybe you have a group about QuickBooks for small business owners or business owners alike, and you're offering tidbits about information. So definitely look for those opportunities to be able to do that, and just think the future of marketing belongs to brands or businesses that earn data through trust. We're already doing it, friends. This is just a good reminder that we're going to have to do things a little bit more mindful in how we're collecting people's data. So then we can go ahead, especially if you're using advertising platforms, of you want to make sure that you're able to better go back and create a good ad campaign by the characteristics and information that you have based on your audience. So it helps you to learn more about your audience. And we definitely, it's through trust because we're not taking it from cookies. We're just learning about our clients because, or our lead list building, the people that are coming into our funnel based on their behavior and their actions and what they're raising their hand to say they're interested in. All right. Wow, I did that quick, my friends. So, I do have a privacy first marketing checklist, and I will include a privacy template. I have a kind of a template that you should consider in updating on your website. We should always have it kind of even in a footer of our website. The privacy policy is huge. So, you're welcome to scan this, and I will also drop in a link to this. Grab your checklist and your replay here. Does anybody have any questions? All right, my friends. Well, on Thursday, I am doing another live stream. We're going to be talking about, I actually have to check here. Give me 1 second and I'm going to check what our live stream is about on Thursday. I know what it is because I just, um, beyond the followers, building a loyal digital community around your brand. So I'll drop in the link to watch it on YouTube if you want to kind of set a reminder. I'd love to see you there. Um, Drop it on Thursday, same time, same place, 2 p.m. Eastern. Um, Love to see you there. All right, my friends. Well, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you stopping by today, learning about data privacy. If there's anything that I can do for you, this here is how you can reach me. I'm happy to connect with you. I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Stop by on Facebook, YouTube, or drop me an email. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about digital marketing and learn more about your business. All right, my friends, you have a fantastic day. I'll look forward to seeing you guys soon.